Welcome back to Breakfast Television, sitting at 13 degrees. It's just 8:13. Time now to talk business. So we say good morning to our business editor, Mike Eppel. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hey, good, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. When is the last time that we have seen the Canadian dollar this high?
3 months ago. And a bit of a surprise, actually, because there were many on Bay Street specifically who were saying, look out below for the Canadian dollar. It's going to perhaps test its record lows. You know, the government's been piling on debt and spending, and the economy is cratering. And then, of course, the dollar did the exact opposite. It's now at 74 cents. And part of the reason is the fact that the U.S. dollar has actually dropped, which is a surprise to many. But at the same time, the U.S. is printing money, by the minute to support their own economy, so maybe devaluing their currency in the process. So the Canadian dollar, the Aussie dollar, the British pound, the euro, they're actually all up. And the dollar, we want a cheap dollar for export purposes, but at the same time, it is still an economic bellwether. And in and around 75 cents, you can kind of live with that. So we'll see how long it stays there.
Let's talk about the umbrella corporation of Reitmans. So they're closing Time Maternity and Edition L. I don't expect you to be familiar with either of those stores. But how many jobs will that mean that they're cutting, Mike?
1,400. And then this is part of Reitmans' overall restructuring because they're in bankruptcy protection in the midst of the pandemic. So they had already seen struggles with high debt loads prior to the economic shutdown. So this is part of their reorganizing efforts. They've got financial backing to do this at the same time. And more job losses, let's face it, that's going to be and has been a theme of the economic maelstrom, where we've seen a lot of companies shutter stores, and the ripple effect through the shopping malls and, retail space, strip malls and what have you. So that's going to be something to watch as well, because there's going to be a lot of vacancies.
We've only got about a minute left. What is a virtual walkout, and why did employees of Facebook do this?
Well, virtual walkout is when you're working from home and you refuse to work. It's opposed to walking out and picketing out in front of your office. A bunch of employees at Facebook yesterday, along with some senior executives, are not happy with Mark Zuckerberg because he is refusing to follow the lead of Jack Dorsey over at Twitter and censoring, ostensibly, what Donald Trump puts on social media. Fact-checking, or saying, seek facts, or this is not true, or what have you. And so Mr. Zuckerberg's in a tough spot here. He says, basically, we're not the arbiter. You don't have to be on Facebook. There's nothing to say you do, and that's your choice, and it's a private company, yada, yada, yada. It goes on and on. But when you've got some social media platforms being much more stringent about the spreading of information, depending on whether it's true or not, and who's the arbiter of truth, it's a bit of a maelstrom for Zuckerberg. But nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that and whether or not it has any implications for advertisers on social media.
Well, that's the big one, right? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the markets.